Good evening. Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Rungtip Chonapalai.
And I'm Supajon Klinswan. Starting off tonight with a Thai PBS exclusive. Security officials from the task force in charge of security along the Mekong River have just confirmed to Thai PBS that a Chinese vessel was attacked Wednesday morning, despite being protected by a Chinese Marine patrol. A group of unidentified gunmen fired shots from M79 grenade launchers at a Chinese vessel and a Chinese patrol boat, which were anchored on the Mekong River, just 20 kilometers north of the Thai border. No death or injuries were reported. Thai officials suspect Nok Ham, who is the infamous Thai Yai illegally demanding protection fees along the upper part of the Mekong River, is behind the act. Since October 5, vessels carrying Chinese products have halted commuting down the Mekong to the Golden Triangle area, which borders Thailand, Laos and Burma, as they fear guerrilla attacks. Chinese ships resumed the route on December the 10th, albeit accompanied by armed boats, and this is the first reported attack since.
Meanwhile, the budget of debate in Parliament today is scheduled to conclude at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Transport budget requests have already passed without the much debate. The highlight of the debate tonight will be the passing of the budget requested by the Ministries of Finance and Foreign Affairs. Former Foreign Minister Kasit Pirom from the Democrat Party suggests that the additional sum of the budget requested by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs should be decreased, as the budget, as claimed by Kasit, is aimed at benefiting former PM Thaksin Shinawatra.
Foreign Minister Surapong Tawichakchaikul denies such claims and challenges the opposition to a censure debate on that matter. The majority of the MPs voted for the budget. The Finance Ministry's budget also caught the opposition's attention, as Democrat MP Gonchatika Wanit points out that a big chunk is intended for populist policies and lacks the budget for public debt management. The government explained that public debt management will be in 2013's fiscal budget.
The Finance Ministry's budget also passed the vote. The 12th reading, which is the Ministry of Transport budget of over 9 billion baht, have already passed without much questioning. Another 22 readings are scheduled, and this Parliament meeting is expected to end at 3 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Political party leaders met for lunch today in an effort to reconcile political disputes. All agreed that Les Majes law will not be amended. General Sonthi Bunyarakalin, leader of the Matupum party, hosted a lunch for all party leaders today. As head of the National Reconciliation Subcommittee, the general says every party leader agreed not to create any more political conflicts, but to work for the national benefit. General Sonthi, who was also the 2006 coup leader, which ousted former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, told the press that everyone at the luncheon agreed that there will be no amendment of Article 112 of the Thai Criminal Code. The Thai Criminal Code states in Article 112, whoever defames, insults or threatens the king, queen, the heir apparent or the regent shall be punished with imprisonment of 3 to 15 years. The 2007 Constitution and all 17 versions since 1932 contain the clause, the king shall be enthroned in a position of revered worship and shall not be violated. No person shall expose the king to any sort of accusation or action.
The government's move to transfer the 1.14 trillion baht debt from the Ministry of Finance to the Financial Institution Development Fund, or the FIDF, has been widely commented on and criticized.
Right. The debt, however, stemmed from the bailout of depositors and creditors of ailing banks. Now, currently, the BOT, or the Bank of Thailand, is obliged to pay off the debt from its annual profits, while interest expenses are settled from the fiscal or public budget, or in other words, the taxpayers' money. Prasan Trairat Warakul, the governor of the Bank of Thailand, or BOT, says he is concerned about the draft decree to transfer responsibility for the debt carried over from the 1997 economic crisis to the FIDF. In particular, he is concerned about Section 7, where it could be interpreted that the cabinet has the right to order the Bank of Thailand to transfer International Reserves Fund, property, land, or any assets. It is still ambiguous whether the definition of asset will or will not include foreign reserve funds. This If it does, there will be an effect on foreign confidence.
The BOT's governor says that there should be consultation regarding this topic since it is very important to the country. The BOT has tried to explain through the Decrees Council that the method proposed might not be appropriate. The bill gives authority to the BOT to charge all the financial institutions, which will in turn be bound to pass on the cost by offering low interest rates to the depositors and charging higher rates to borrowers. This will increase the possibility of the commercial banks and will represent an obstacle to financial institution development in the future. Today, the stock exchange of Thailand fell at further 0.05% on top of the 3.3% drop yesterday upon concerns about the massive debt move.
Just a day after the end of the 7 dangerous days of the New Year travel period, a major road accident has claimed the lives of 6 people and injured a further 7. The 2 vehicles involved collided at about 7 a.m. this morning on the near kilometer 40 on the motorway between Bangkok and Chonburi province. A passenger van struck an 18-wheel articulated lorry this morning on the highway 40 km before Chonburi province. 6 people lost their lives and 7 more were injured. The passenger van traveling between Bangkok and Chachoengsao hit the back of the 18-wheel trailer lorry belonging to the TRTC company. The accident occurred at the 34th kilometer stone on the highway heading towards Chonburi province at about 7 a.m. this morning.
5 people were pronounced dead at the scene, while the 6th victim died on the way to hospital. The other 7 people injured were rushed to the Julalat 11 hospital. The rescuers had to stop work for 30 minutes because the passenger van caught fire during the rescue attempt. 1 female remained trapped in the van while rescuers attempt to extinguish the blaze.
44-year-old Warawut Hanlakon, the driver of the articulated lorry, says he was on the left lane and was not driving at speed when suddenly the van struck the right rear corner of his vehicle. The truck then dragged the van for about 300 meters before he could stop. The van's driver has fled the scene during the confusion. The van driver has since been identified as 40-year-old Somboon Tashalat, a resident of Chachoengsao province. The owner of the van has already contracted the police to give evidence and to hand in Somboon's documents.
The owner of a bookstore in Jatujak Weekend Market says that she doesn't believe the cause of the blaze on Wednesday was an electrical short circuit. However, Jatujak Market will be open for shoppers tomorrow as usual. Sompit Thadongta, the owner of a bookstore damaged by fire on Wednesday night, says she doesn't believe the police findings that the blaze started as the result of an electrical problem. She claims that she has only recently replaced her electrical wires and they were all installed in metal conduct as a safety measure.
Earlier speculation was that a fire was the result of arson related to a conflict between the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration, who originally managed the shops at Jatujak, and the State Railway of Thailand, who is the landlord and has now assumed control over the market. Shop owners claim mafia activities were rife within the market. Police deny such claims.
The BMA and the State Railway of Thailand are currently negotiating over how they will manage the main buildings and structures within the market.
Flood levels in the southern provinces have reduced, except in Phatthalung province, where high tides are pushing the floods back into the town areas. 5 districts of Phatthalung are still enduring the week-long floods after waters rose again due to the surging sea levels. Areas around the Songkhla Lake are also facing shortages of grass to feed the cattle due to the prolonged flooding. Meanwhile, soldiers are assisting locals in Nopitam district of Nakhon Si Thammarat, which was one of the worst hit areas, by repairing the flood-damaged bridges and installing temporary bridges for the locals to cross. Another 20 more bridges have been found to be damaged. The other southern provinces along the Gulf, from Prachuap Khiri Khan all the way down to Narathiwat, will this weekend be very busy with their big cleaning activities.
Well, and Pattaya is expected to be welcoming more than 5,000 U.S. Navy officers after their battleships docked in Lam Chabang for what the U.S. Navy refers to as a goodwill visit.
Right, so that's Pattaya is going to be pretty busy this weekend.
Yes, of course, and
right.
The battleships come a day after the President Barack Obama announced a new defense strategy that would increase U.S. military presence in Asia but reduce the overall global size of the force.
Right, there are not yet any plans that high-ranking U.S. Navy officers and Thai Navy officers will meet after the ship has docked here in Lam Chabang, but well, who knows?
Okay, so that wraps up tonight's edition of the Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Rung Tip Chonapalai.
I'm Super John Quinn Swan. Thank you so much for watching.
สวัสดีครับ
คุณรู้ไหมว่าเราอยากได้อะไรเราอยากได้นักการเมืองที่ไม่โกงไม่เอาเงินภาษีเงินของประชาชนไปเป็นของตัวเองเราอยากได้ข้าราชการที่ไม่สมคบคิดกับนักธุรกิจแล้วมาเอาเปรียบประชาชนเราอยากได้คนที่มีความละอายต่อความชั่วเราผิดที่เคยยอมรับและนิ่งเฉยต่อไปนี้เราจะยืนอยู่บนความถูกต้องเราจะไม่ยอมรับการโกงทุกรูปแบบเราจะจับตาดูผู้คุณและเราจะลุกขึ้นมาต่อต้านการโกง